Welcome back to Learn Brizy Cloud with me, JP. We are going full steam ahead with our starter kit for Brizy Cloud. And if you only join us at this point, I highly recommend that if you're brand new to Brizy Cloud, that you start from the very beginning. This starter kit is intended to give you a really good idea of almost everything that is included with Brizy Cloud. And currently, we're only looking at the free version. Everything I've shown you up to now in the first 32 videos are free. And for the next 20, they're still going to show you free stuff. And then we will dive into the pro stuff, which is just incredibly awesome. So in this video, video 33, let's talk about corners. And corners are found many places within the builder. The most obvious place that you often use a corner is in a button. Some people, like me, we love a sharp corner. Others prefer rounded corners. I'll zoom in on this button and let me rather bring in a new button that I haven't made any changes to. Button over here. Let's drop it and we delete that button, right click and select delete. I'll zoom in on this button so that you can have a look at the corners and you will think, oh, okay, sharp corner. No, Bobby, not a sharp corner. Select the button and we select the button options here. And you will see we have the option for the corners of the button here, sharp or rounded. But like I told you, Bobby, when you're not paying attention, this isn't sharp. And I know that because my eyes tell me there's a little bit of a smoothness to those corners applied. And that I prove to you by clicking on the more options, these three little dots, and you will see that there is a corner roundness of 2 pixels applied. For me, most of the cases, I love a sharp corner. I reduce that all the way to 0. And by doing so, you saw those corners getting real nice and sharp. If I select this preset, it gives us what we often refer to as a pill shape, like those pills, capsules that we drink for whatever medication we are taking. Gives us nice rounded corners. You can also check the setting for this by going to the 3 dots and you see it's all the way to 28 pixels. Don't get caught up how many pixels it displays over here. The best advice I just have to you is drag the slider all the way to the right and it will give you those rounded corners for your button. So the button is a natural place where we often use corners, but you also have the ability to apply corners to things with background shapes and images. I'll select the column settings and then I go to the overlay and I'll give it a dark background so it can contrast nicely with these guys. I'll apply first some padding inside so we have a little bit of structure. Go to settings, styling, and I'll link my padding here so we can just apply all of the inside padding at the same time. I'll drag it to the right. And you can see by adding padding that we have space at the top, bottom, left, and right. This is essential in giving your design structure. And I'll put the button on the left so it looks a little bit better. To apply corners here to a background, we go to the settings. From the toolbar, select settings and styling, and you will see here in the sidebar, we have corners down here. Here we get into 2 different kinds of corners. First, we get the corners like I just showed you. Grab the slider, drag it to the right, and it will apply rounded corners for you. But you're not limited to that because it may only go to 100, but you can make it go higher. And there are 2 ways you can make it go higher. First, you do what I just did. You double click in there and you type in a value like 150. And then you will see it gets even more rounded. The other way is to leave your cursor in there at the end like I just did. And on your keyboard, use the up and down arrow keys. And I'll just hold it down to around 170 or 180 and you will see it keeps changing. This way you can go way beyond that 100 that we originally had. The moment you grab the slider though, it will immediately drop back to that maximum value for the slider of 100. Also have pick percentage. So let's see with percentage and 100% is going to give you a nice elliptical shape. So if you are getting tired of trying to figure out the right amount of pixels, then put it on percentage and play around with that. But let's put it back on 0, put it back on pixels, and then also have a look what happens when we delink the corner. This is also a nice design feature that often works in websites. And if I think of something like these tulips, let's say it's a flower shop website that we are making. This will come in very nice handy for this kind of design. Now I have control over each column individually. So just for the top left corner, I'll drag it and you can see, nice. But I would put that on percentage. I need something more aggressive. And that is what, 32 pixels. And then I go to the bottom right. I'll type in 32 and I'll put it on percentage. And there we go. Just look how nicely that complements my site. Change the background color to something to fit that. Let's put it on a red, darker, or an orange rather. That is a little bit ugly, but we'll move it up like so. There we go. Almost decent.